Hey guys, how's it going? I know I said I was going to make a year-end list, but I didn't think it was beneficial to talk about an album I think is probably one of the best, if not the best, black metal albums of the year. I don't hear a lot of folks talking about this. It could be due to timing. It could be to a lot of other factors. But the band does come out of Denver, Colorado. There are a ton of bands, especially black metal, that are thriving in the Denver, Colorado black metal scene. I talked about In the Company of Serpents earlier this year. Wave Far, A Feather and Bone are a couple bands I need to check out further. Black Curse I talked about earlier this year. Call of the Void, Chemis, how you pronounce it, Primitive Man, Spectral Voice, Noctambulist. The list keeps going on and on in Denver. Blood Incantation put out what a lot of people thought was album of the year last year. As far as metal's concerned, I liked it. I may have to go back to it to fully absorb it, but I will give it another shot. It was not my favorite album of the year. But so far, I guess we have another 4 days left in the year, but I think I have landed on my favorite album of the year. It is a band out of Denver, Colorado. The members, there's a two-piece band. The members have been in the likes of Nightbringer and some other bands in the Denver, Colorado scene. So I give you my album of the year. Not many people are talking about it. I don't know why. This is Achilles with Melano. This is the special edition. I think this is limited to 200 copies. This is actually a slipcase. As you can see here, it's hand numbered on the bottom out of 200 copies. This is the cover art, the actual cover art, and the back very similar to the slipcase. Innards, not much to see there. And then the album is actually gold in color. I don't know if you can see the nuanced waves. Oop, that's not in mint condition anymore, is it? Nuanced waves. I drop a lot of shit on this channel, as you see. And I'm going to talk about the cover, or the vinyl here in a minute, and how it relates to the music as a whole. You can see the gold ties in nicely with the album cover. But this is, if you've ever had a night terror or sleep paralysis where you have such a vivid, scary, horrific nightmare that you kind of freeze and you can't wake up, this album is the soundtrack to that feeling. From the artwork alone looks like a nightmare. The art was done by a guy named, I wanted to call out his name because he also did The Dreaming Eye, was their last album that came out, I think, in 2015, which I also liked a lot. The cover art's by Dennis Forkas Castromaton. I'll link him below. While I'm looking at it, here's the inside with gold and some lyrics. And here's what the band looks like. Two-piece band there, as you can see. The meaning of Melano, I think is how you pronounce it, is kind of she's like the goddess of ghosts and spirits, and kind of like nightmares and whatnot, which ties perfectly into this album. If you're a horror movie fan, you'll feel like you're watching a horror movie listening to this. The creepy, tremolo-picked leads on these songs are just hypnotic and scary. The vocals are scary. You feel scared listening to this. And it's kind of re-energized my faith in black metal and music in general. I kind of hit a rut there for a little bit where a lot of things just sounded the same to me. And then I put this album on. I had pre-ordered it right when it came out, and started listening to the digital files on Bandcamp, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and was instantly sucked in and blown away. And the digital or the physical copy arrived just about a week ago. So my thought process or my guess is that a lot of online outlets did not have a physical copy yet of this album. I don't know. It's out on, oh shit, I have the name of the label right here in front of me. I've talked about him plenty of times. Debamure Morty. They put out a lot of great stuff, so it's not like this is an unknown label. I don't know why people are sleeping on this album and why this is not in the top 10, if not top 5 of a lot of these lists. I'm coming back to the record itself. If you looked at this, you would say, hey, that label looks off-centered. So if you see here, this from here to here is actually the label, and the black part looks off-centered. When you spin this around, it kind of gives you a hypnotic-looking center. You're expecting to see a normal center. And when you look at it as it spins and you listen to the music, you see the off-center label, you get this weird dizziness-type feeling, or at least I did. If you've ever seen the horror movie Irreversible, there's scenes of that movie where there's spinning cameras, and it's done on purpose to make you feel disoriented and confused while watching the movie, and that's how I felt listening to this album. Their last album, I mentioned earlier, The Dreaming Eye, was great, but it did not hit me near as hard as this album. It's my only complaint, probably, is that it's 5 songs in one kind of instrumental-ish album. But the album starts off with Soliloquy, just right out of the gate, just hits you like a ton of bricks. And then Nigalion is the next song, and there's this 2 minutes of just kind of vocals, and then the drums slowly kick in, and it's like you're on this wave and ebb and flow of a nightmare where you think things are getting better, and then they get worse, and then they get better, and then they get worse, and before you know it, the album's over with. So I guess my only complaint, while I think it's about 45 minutes, it goes by like that. 5 songs. There's so many ebbs and flows to this album that you're paying attention the whole time. It's kind of like a really great movie where you're watching a movie and an hour and a half goes by and you say to yourself, oh, that didn't feel like an hour and a half. That's how this feels. It does not feel like 45 minutes. So if you haven't yet, I'll link it below with all the info I can find on Aklis. This is a phenomenal Black album, dare I say. It will go down as a classic at some point. A lot of this copy I know is sold out. There are a lot of other versions sold out. I think they've repressed a CD version, and they have claimed that they're not going to repress anymore. So I think last I checked, I think they repressed 500 copies, and there's like 40 left. So if you want to own a piece of what I would consider black metal perfection, a modern classic, get out there to the links below and check out Melano by Aklis. You will not be disappointed. So thanks for checking this out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy Aklis as much as I did. Let me know below what you think. If you disagree, if you think this album's trash, I don't think you will. But if there are other bands in this genre that I need to check out, let me know. I'm familiar with like Dispel Omega, Bluedos Nord, things like that, where you feel this hypnotic, spooky nightmare feeling when you listen to it. But if there's other stuff that I'm not aware of, please link it below and I'll check it out. And thanks for checking out the channel, and I will catch you all very soon. Later.